So first of all, I want to welcome everyone. Who had taken some time and joined the session. So in this discussion, we are going to talk about how software development has changed and what are the tools that are getting very heavily used into the software development world. And one of the most widely and most important questions: would AI replace the software developers or web development in general? Is that really true? So I am Firdos. I have overall 15 years of experience in IT industry. I have been working as enterprise architect, as engineering leader, and I founded Red Stack Labs as a software development company back in 2020. So we started at Stag Labs. So we have developed multiple projects for global clients, and we started Excendra as an initiative to bring advanced and industry level technical skills to the young folks, to the new generation, fresh graduates from computer science or any other branch. So we have been in practice from last, I would say, 4 years, 4 to 5 years, and we have trained a lot of people, and many of them are very well placed in top MNCs. So we'll be you'll be getting more information from the website as well, Excendra.com. So just to begin with, so we're going to talk about AI powered development, how AI has actually changed the overall paradigm, overall a process of development. What are the things that got involved, and what are the things do we have to learn? So how our code has became fast, so we can develop, I would say, with 10x speed. So instead of keep on typing, so now our main aim is to keep on thinking, solving the real big real world problems. So that's the job of web developers, which was there, and we used to spend a lot of hours identifying the issues, doing the documentation, fixing the bugs, and all of that has actually changed for good with the help of these advanced AI tools in last few years. So, I want to just brief you about the overall landscape about the software development. So, what is the fundamental shift? What has changed? Okay, तो उससे पहले हम क्या करते थे? So most of you may not be aware के before the AI tools were there, how we used to develop and what were the approaches, how we used to solve. So I'm going to give you a brief, and then I'm going to give you the tools that is there. And obviously, there are some challenges by when we use these tools, and certainly there need to be, I would say, next level of information which will be required to the developers. Like your basic assistance is done by the AI right now, for which initially when we joined as freshers in 2009, 2010, so we used to do that assistance ourselves, okay, and that gave us some room to learn. तो एक दो साल में हम बेसिक्स वगैरह वो कंप्लीट करते थे, and after that we used to pick up some I would say advanced projects and all with the senior developers and or ourselves independently. The question isn't whether to adapt AI tools. Okay, so that question is gone. So it's how quickly we can master that, because without AI there is no existence anymore. So AI is going to stay, AI is going to boom, and certainly it's going to improve day by day. So now the real question is कि it's not about कि AI tool use करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए. It's not there anymore. Every single company, all the that complete shift has happened into the companies. They are using tools, like we have been using it for a while now, and all the transformation for everything, all stages of project development, that has actually moved to the AI tools. Okay, so I'm going to give you a brief, what are the what was the previous old way and how do we do it today. Okay, so previously जब भी हम कोई प्रोजेक्ट वगैरह बिल्ड करते थे, we had boilerplates. ऐसा नहीं था कि हम काफी scratch से start करते थे. So we used to have some kind of prototype. we could either refer the open repositories, or we could pick up a template, or some examples were there. Let's say we have to build a website or something. So there were tons of templates that is already available. Or we have to build an application, let's say a user management application. आप आपके कॉलेज के लिए रजिस्ट्रेशन एप्लीकेशन बना रहे हैं. So there were some prototype जो basic आपको structure या code ready करके देता था, and that was also always available. We just had to Google it manually, and then from that we could build the actual logic and then apply all those customizations and business logics which are specific to that particular business, right? So a new software is developed if the requirements are new, right? Every company has its own requirements, like their own need, and they have to develop it accordingly. Okay, so they have to customize and they have to change it. So previously, if you used to do something like कोई भी issue वगैरह अगर आता है, so we have to go back to the Google and we have to understand कि ये concept में यहाँ पे मुझे एक issue आ रहा है. So to give you an example, like let's say I had to I am getting an error or something. Okay, so what I used to do, I used to go to Google. I used to look for the documentation. Okay, what's the right way to do it? Okay, and then I used to go for also platforms like Stack Overflow, or I would say like there were some other platforms like that used to give us like those technical support. A lot of developers were contributing to that. Like every developer, whenever he was getting an issue and later he was getting a solution, so he was also mentioning what was the solution. So accordingly, a community bani hui thi, and then nowadays that usage of that still exists, but usage of that has reduced very much. Okay, and then we had GitHub community also. कोई भी project जो open source project होता था, so we have a proper system, repository system, जिसपे ये code जो है that gets available if it is open source, and then there is a community who asks us questions, who asks us doubts about this, that they are getting some issues or something. So we used to Google, we used to go for Stack Overflow solutions, we used to even copy that about like a lot of times, and then we used to apply that and make sure like it gets tested and then it gets fixed every time we had to repeat the process, right? So it used to take hours, obviously. So the new way to do it is to describe what is actually happening, or what is the change that I need. Okay. And what is actually happening at the runtime with the help of AI, your code will get generated. Okay. अभी जो even the boilerplates I am talking boilerplate हम बोलते हैं जो basic project prototype, basic project minimal requirement जो होगी. Okay, so minimal setup आपको वो बना के देगा, because there are different types, different categories of softwares, whether it's an ERP, it's a LMS, or it's a management tool or something like that, right? तो वो सब बनाने के लिए if that minimal setup that you like, we would have that, but we can even customize that today. We can say कि मुझे ये basic setup चाहिए, उसका prototype, उसका theme ऐसा होगा, so we can generate that and we can further refine it. Okay, so even when today we encounter an issue, so let's say मुझे अभी एक issue आया, so instead of going to Google or something, I have now, I would say, code assistants available, so in the form of AI. So they will be available, there will be a chat window, I will type it. Okay, so I will say I'm getting this issue, so what's causing this issue? It will give me complete description that this is the reason that you are getting an issue and it can be resolved by this. Okay, but we have to be very, very careful, because it may not be always true. It may fix something, but it may create more problems. That's the real job of the developer. That is to validate what AI has generated. Okay, for that, I would say कि you have to be a step ahead. जो AI आपके लिए कर रहा है, first you have to know that what AI is doing and how it is doing that. Okay, तो जब आप कोड देख रहे हैं, obviously you will get clues. You don't have to Google, you don't have to spend hours. It will give you references, it will give you documentation कि ये ऐसे होता है. But the real deal is that when it is going to make some change into your existing code, it may break something else. Okay, तो वो validate करने के लिए कि अगर मैं यहाँ पे, because context is huge. Think of an application that works for a business. Let's say it is managing complete end-to-end transaction for a business company, let's say Coca-Cola or something. So they have, I would say, millions or billions of transactions every day. So at this point, can we trust an AI tool that we have to fix a particular bug or issue or something? So we can get that code, but there has to be an efficient and, I would say, a knowledgeable person who has complete context. Okay, maybe to give you a simple example, let's say it says that let's change this component, इस component को यहाँ पे remove कर देते हैं, or I will change the position of this. But even changing the position of that particular element could be very, very impactful to the end users. And then there are a lot of users using it at the same time. So think of, let's say, Instagram. So let's say एक button है. So when you are going to log in, you see a button for reel and you see a button for, what if AI is going to automatically move that button, like from like it's going to combine that button, or it's going to move that button, reels ka or messages ka jo button hai, it's going to change the position. So do you know, because that purely runs, that's like a I would say a mind game there. Instagram design ही हुआ है आपके mind को engaged रखने के लिए. So if there would be any frequent change or any small change into that UI, it's going to impact a lot of users. लोग ढूंढते बैठेंगे कि भाई मेरा रील वाला ऑप्शन या मेरा वो सेटिंग्स के अंदर एक पर्टिकुलर ऑप्शन था वो कहाँ गया. Okay, and then there could be a lot of chaos, right? So they will get queries, they will get issues, people will stop using it for a while because they have to figure this out. So that's like loss of the businesses क्योंकि जितना scroll हो रहा है उतने ads आ रहे हैं. So accordingly you have to be very careful about AI, right? वो कैसे generate कर रहा है. So I'll give you a like very cool example. So we're going to build something today. So now a very big statement to the people who says कि AI is going to replace something. Okay, so I would say AI won't replace the developers. It won't replace the overall development community, or web development is not going anywhere. But definitely those who do not adapt, who do not master the tools that are there for AI, like using AI tools for the development. So जो उसको सही से use नहीं कर पा रहे, so they will be replaced obviously. There will be a developer who will say, I will do front end, I will do back end, I will do design. But how? Is it really possible? Can he be efficient? So can he deliver on the time? So all those questions are there. But if he adapts to AI tools properly, maybe he will. Okay, तो उसके लिए I would say कि he can replace 3 people then. Okay, so he will use the tools, he will build quickly, validate quickly, redesign quickly, and then deliver. Right. So that's the real deal. That's what is going to happen. Okay. So what's the overall toolkit? कौन सी चीजें है that has actually evolved and what are we using nowadays? Okay. So there are different stages of the software development. So I'm going to detail about it, but then we are going to go with the practical examples and then you will understand it very well. Okay. So the complete framework overall, I would say the fundamentals कि हम कौन से tools use करते थे, हम कैसे code करते थे, that complete shift has happened in last 5 years. Okay. So deployment and monitoring. So let's say today I have an application ready, I have to deploy it. Okay. So previously I used to create a Docker file. That was very hectic, by the way. Making sure all the configurations, all the settings are perfect, and then deploying it on a Docker or a cloud instance or something like that. So all those things are taken care by a tool, let's say deploy bot, and then we have Datadog AI for intelligent monitoring. So once an application is deployed, if you want to analyze कि कितना usage हो रहा है, कितने लोग उस पे चल रहे हैं, use कर रहे हैं उसको, and then if there are any issues or something, so there are like AI tools for that as well. There used to be these tools obviously previously उसी को, so now it gives you kind of additional assistance. वो quickly आपका काम खुद कर देता है. Okay, and then certainly you have options. Further आप उसको configure वगैरह कर सकते हैं. Not everything is like handed over to AI, but it does most of the job, and then last 70-80% has to be done by the developer. So testing and documentation. So now when a project is built, you make small change and you have to validate whether everything is perfect. Is it running? जो मैं अभी बोल रहा था, something will work, but maybe some other thing will break. Okay, यहाँ पे मैंने एक API fix किया या कोई code fix किया, maybe on the other section, other page, I am getting more issues. So what about that? So there are testing tools that is going to validate that. mentally fee for the documentation. So to give you the complete information, now you don't have to worry about it. Based on the context, based on the comments that will be provided in the code, it will automatically generate the docs. Okay, so you don't have to. Previously हमें एक एक step, एक एक context, एक एक business logic जो है वो document करना पड़ता था. So now while doing the code, we can mention that. And then we have Postman, Postman for API testing and testing for intelligent automation testing. So instead of using manually trying to see कि सब चल रहा है नहीं चल रहा है, so there is a proper system that we call as automation testing. तो वो generate करने के लिए भी there is an AI tool for that. The next thing is debugging and conversion. So whenever we have to identify the bugs or the issues, previously our roadmap was we used to go for Google and mention that this is the error. We used to get some hints, maybe or may not be, right? Otherwise, then we have to go deeper into the documentation, change the flow, debug ourselves. Obviously, there are debugging tools that are available today also. So we have to make sure that we understand how it is going and how it is working. But at the first glance, if you want to get a hint, you don't have to Google. You don't have to go through a lot of documentation. Your, I would say, code assisting tools are going to help you. तो वो already आपके, I would say, जो आपका intelligent editor होता है. So either you go for a normal editor or we have intelligent editors. VS Code is very common. तो उसके ऊपर भी आप ये कोड असिस्टेंट जो है वो एनेबल कर सकते हैं. एंड लाइक मोस्टली इट इज फ्री, right? And then there are paid services for the upgrades and everything. Like for a full-fledged kind of support, you may go for the subscribed ones. Okay, so like at the student level, at the initial development level, so that will be free. I haven't purchased anything yet. So then code generation. So for that, this is the most important thing. Abhi, like when I have to develop today, I start with end-to-end AI tools. Okay, तो मैं शुरू भी करता हूँ AI tool से, then I start modifying it with the help of AI tools, and then there are tools like GitHub Copilot, Amazon Code Whisperer. So and then that helps to generate the complete functionality and the components, and then you can add more, you can build all, more on top of it. And the great thing is it can have complete context कि मैंने previously क्या किया था, किस file में कौन सी functionality है, it has that context. So let's say every developer or every company has its own standard of writing the code or managing the kind of the overall I would say repository. तो पूरा जो code उनका है उसको एक तरीके से वो design करते हैं. So then when a new developer comes in, maybe he has to adapt to that. वो previous company में किसी और तरीके से APIs लिखता था, उनके names define करता था, function names, whatever it is. So now it has to be done according to the new standard, जिस company में वो अभी जिस project पे है. But what these tools are great at, they can read through the whole repository. They will read through all 1000, 2000 files and they will build a context out it. उसको ये पता होगा already कि कौन सी file, कौन सी function कहाँ पे. So even I would say I'm very much I would say familiar with that कि how painful it was कि जब मुझे कोई particular function या file ढूंढनी पड़ती. फिर जब हम कभी like one of the uh, one of the instances that I remember, I went on a vacation. So I was working on a project that was developed in 1995. So since then it was getting evolved and lot of code, lot of updates was there. So it was like a 20-year-old project. So उसके बाद it had very huge repository, almost like 50-60 GBs of repository. खाली code था उतना. So when I used to go that, I took a leave for 20 days. I went back on the job. I was so lost कि कौन सी फाइल कहाँ पे है, कौन सा फंक्शन कहाँ पे है. I had to go to lead. I have to tell him कि भाई मुझे ये वापस समझाओ कि कहाँ पे क्या चीजें है. So he was laughing at me कि भाई सब भूल गए. Like so those things used to happen. But now with the help of this, so I have a very powerful search in front of me. So I can go, I can ask कि ये function ऐसा हमने previously created था, where is it, how I can use it, let us modify it. I can do all that, right? So, and then you don't have to do all of this together. Now you will think कि भाई ये कितने tools है, क्या करना है, right? You have to start small. We have to pick up one of the tools. Okay, so go with the basics. आप fundamental, आप कोई project, आप कोई landing page बना रहे हैं, go with a code editor. It will help you to do the landing page. Then you will see कि चलो let me create a documentation. Then go and learn about that tool and then start integrating that, right? And then slowly you will. So here I want to show you a fine example. So previously हम कैसे code करते थे, and then now what has changed, okay, how we are doing it today. So with the help of all these code assistants, so that whole kind of idea has actually changed. So let's say I have a project to build, a prototype is there, I have to create some functionality. So instead we used to write the function end to end, we used to write the codes line by line, everything, okay. So but what I do today is we go and we say that I have a function like this and I want to add a state. Okay, I want to create a variable and do the validation and add a submit handler and then return. Okay, so then I want him to like give me the response for this thing. Okay, so I am creating a context in natural language. खाली मैं English में type करके उसको वो information वहां पे दे रहा हूँ कि यहाँ पे मेरा intent क्या है, what I want to do, how I want to resolve that. Okay, so see, one of the key things जो which is never going to be replaced by AI is this. जो आपका thought process है, the logic that's going to be there, that problem solving कि मेरी problem ये है और उसको मैं इस तरह से solve करूँ. AI will do it in its own way, but we have the context, we have the requirements. Okay, so we are talking to the people, we understand the real scenario कि मेरा user कैसे इसको use करे. So for that, we have to give it the context, we have to give it the logic कि क्या इस logic से हमें मुझे ये problem solve करना है. So what's this assistant is going to do, it's going to create a function, it's going to write the syntax. Okay, that's the most, I would say, important thing for every single fresher. सबसे ज्यादा जो painful stuff था, that is to remembering the function names and the syntax and all. But see, and much important, and that is going to be still valid, is to understand the concepts very well. आपके fundamentals clear होने चाहिए, आपको rules की पूरी पता होनी चाहिए. ये state अगर इसने ऐसे बनाया, maybe it is wrong for me. Maybe I don't want to use state, I have to use ref for ABCD reason. और use ref और use state में क्या difference है, that you have to know first. Okay, so I would say web development is there. Understanding of these languages and context and their rules has like will stay forever. But the question is, it's going to be generated by someone, and you have to validate it. Okay, and you have to build things on top of it. इसको further solve कैसे करेंगे, यहाँ पे मुझे अगर कोई issue आ रहा है, so then you have to push कि भाई यहाँ पे ये solve करो. You are not getting solution from some assistant, you have to refer to the documentation, you have to refer to the code, and then you have to solve it accordingly, right? So that's the real deal. Okay, so a very famous saying, like with uh, great power comes great responsibilities. So you have power in hand, but you have a bigger responsibility now. You have to work like a senior developer, okay, because your assistant developer is already with you, even at the fresher level. Okay. The next thing, what all things it can do? Okay, it can build the function, it can do the test generation, it can generate a code from the comments. Okay, it can do the clear, like detailed explanation, and like from the plain English, it can write very long detailed functions and all. So next thing, so this is how our bug fixing process, like that I already mentioned, issue was there. We used to go for Google, open lot of tabs, read the documentation, trial and error, फिर check करते थे ये fix चलेगा क्या, ये fix चलेगा क्या, and it was quite frustrating, right? But with AI, we paste the issue into the code assistant, and then we receive the explanation, and we give the solution, right? It provides the solution, it validates that also. Okay, but we have to be careful about कि इसका impact कहाँ पे कैसे होगा. So this is like how I type today. I am getting this type error. Okay, cannot read property X of undefined. So this is exactly the error that I might be getting on the browser or something. So in the React component. So here is my code. I'll paste my code and tell him what is going wrong. what's not valid, and how should I change it. Okay, so the AI will explain the error and it will give you the solution as well. Okay, so I'll show you how we can do that. Okay, so this is a rapid prototype that we are going to do right away. So it says that you can build a complete weather application in just few minutes. Okay, so for the sake of time saving, I have already worked on this, and then I'm going to show you how we can actually do it. Now you have to hear, you have to remember the steps, you have to remember the tools. I would say when I say remember, simply Google it, you will find and choose by yourself which one you want to explore. Spend 15-20 minutes and then I'm going to like give you all the free ones. Okay, जो आप freely use कर सकते हैं, you can start building from scratch. So first thing, to create a project from scratch, let's say I have to go for a prototype first. Then I'll think about कि इसको कैसे improve करेंगे, what are the functionalities that we have to add. So I'll first go for any large language model. So let's say it is ChatGPT or DeepSeek or any other model that you want to go. So I'll first ask that I want to create an application like that is a weather application. So I want to have a dashboard. So set the location, cities in India. I want to get it accordingly and show advanced design. Okay, and very good images and icons should be there. Okay, so accordingly it should design the complete dashboard. So it should show weather for today and for the upcoming week. Okay, so what it's going to do, it's going to give me a detailed prompt. First of all, I don't even have to work there. So it will brainstorm, it will solve, and then maybe I'll mention मैंने यहाँ पे इसने मुझे पूरा एक detailed prompt generate करके दिया. So then I said कि let's simplify it. इसको थोड़ा कम करते हैं because for a bigger project it will take more time. So I simplified it, added few elements and all. So I got a final prompt here. So that I felt like कि हाँ इतना सही है मेरे लिए for the initial prototype. Okay. So next thing, I'm going to go for a tool for the prototyping. Okay. So the most common and most good one, like that I feel like there are a lot. Bolt is there and like V0 is there from Versal. And then there are few more tools, okay, for basic prototyping. So you can go for the bolt.new. So this website here, and then you have to log in. You will get some free tokens, and from that free tokens you will give the prompt here. Okay, जो prompt मैंने वहाँ पे generate किया था वही prompt उठा के मैं यहाँ पे डालूंगा. I want to create a weather application. It will have these features, these colors and all those things. That's completely defined by the like your LLM, right? So then you can change the model like based on whatever your subscription is. So you get a free one. So this is the code generating LLM model. So that's going to generate a code for you. The next thing I'm going to build it, right? So it's going to do the detailed, I would say, analysis that it's going to do the thinking, it's going to plan it, setting up the database, creating the APIs, and then it creates, okay, build is the 7-day forecast component and weather component, adding the icons, adding testers and everything. So you can see everything is getting generated in just few steps. ओके तो ये 2-3 स्टेप्स करने में आपको 5 मिनट भी नहीं लगेगा. So this may take a bit, but you will get it very quickly. And for prototype, I need a basic structure. You should not go for complete application. वो ये करके नहीं देगा. It may to some extent, but then it gets confused. Okay, फिर आगे आप और requirements दोगे, ये पुरानी requirements को उड़ा के नई requirement. I have tried that, and lot of companies are frustrated because of that. Okay, तो अभी वहाँ पे नहीं. We have to do it step by step. Break down करना है. Okay, so it's not doing end-to-end coding and something, but it is doing to a very significant level. So वो prototype फिर हम the next step is to deploy, is to validate like how it looks like and all. So you get an option here. So this is the final thing. Okay, so this is the magic. So if I could have spent like 5 days, 10 days, or maybe like at least 1 or 2 days to building something like this, like along with the backend APIs and all those things. So your bolt.new does that in 5 minutes. And how cool is that? So then you have to decide कि और क्या चाहिए और क्या modify करना है or is it good enough? क्या आप यही चाहते थे? Do you want to launch it? Do you want to make it public or whatever? So then it will generate. It will even publish and it will give you a URL. You can even share this sample with someone कि भाई मैंने एक ऐसा prototype जो है वो create किया है. So I want to do next this thing business logic. Okay. So depends what you want to build. So you have to come up with the ideas. You have to solve the real problems. Okay, so you have to all softwares are built to solve the real world problems. तो उनको easy बनाने के लिए. So you have to come up with a problem and then use these tools to generate the code automatically, and then you will have a real application, okay, in hand. And then you have to work on top of it to make it more accurate, more efficient, more elegant. So all that thing you have to do it, right? So next, I have an option to export this code. So I'll move it to the Git repository. So Git is our code repository system, जहाँ पे हमारी files वगैरह जो है वो manage करते हैं. So from here, I'm going to download it and I'm going to then start updating it. लेकिन update कैसे करें? So that comes the your code assistants. Okay, so what are your code assistants? How you are going to ask the questions? जो मैं अभी बोल रहा. So there are a lot of tools available in the market. So the most famous one is the Claude. So that's like a model that is very good at coding. So it does lot of it has done like lot of progress compared to any other tool. So but then others are keeping up. Chat GPT and other I would say models are doing really great. So then we have whisperflow.ai. So that's also a very booming, very heavily used tool as well. तो यहाँ पे हम क्या करते हैं, यहाँ पे इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग इज हैपनिंग. इंस्टेड ऑफ टाइपिंग अ प्रॉम्प्ट कि भाई मुझे ये एरर आया, you have to speak it. You have to say कि भाई I'm getting this issue, and then it will change that to a prompt. The additional thing is like you don't have to type everything. So the advantage there is like you don't have to copy paste. You can simply say refer to that file, refer to that function, and it's going to build the context very quickly. Then the time, even the 5 minutes that you were spending on typing, even that is getting saved now with new tools. So this flow.ai is that. And then we have Replit in the same line. It is a code assisting tool. We have ChatGPT Codex. We have Cursor. Okay, Cursor is my favorite. तो कर्सर ने काफी बूम किया and it provides lot of options. Like it had previously, it had lot of LLMs integrated and all, but then you can go like, and it has a very, I would say, a simple structure. Even if you go for the premium and all, so you can afford and you can buy it, right? तो उसको आप next level पे, production level पे इसको लेके जा सकते हैं. So I did that in my one of my previous projects. So let me show you how it is going to work in the real picture. Okay, तो मैं ये इस कोड को उठा के जो मैंने यहाँ पे अभी लॉन्च किया है, just a second. तो यहाँ पे जो मैंने लॉन्च किया था this thing into my GitHub repository. So I'm going to download it and I'm going to open that into my VS Code. So in the VS Code, into the extensions, I'm getting an option to download GitHub Copilot Chat. Okay, so this is your programming assistant, your pair programming. Okay, and then you can ask him whatever the questions, queries, or whatever the issues that you are getting, you can ask it, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going here and I'm checking this Apex. Okay, so okay, so I'm going to say create test files for app.tsx. Okay, so I'm going to generate the tests for this. Okay, test क्या होते हैं? So these are called unit tests that validates the functionality of your code. कि आपका कोड सही चल रहा है कि नहीं चल रहा है. So I can simply ask it when I'm going to run it. So it's going to do some execution here. I won't do that right now. So I want to show you what I have actually built right now. उसको कैसे modify कर सकते हैं. So I can do that. I can do that type of assistance here. So I have like options like go for Claude, go for Chat GPT, GPT-4, GPT-5, Raptor. So all the options are already available. So GitHub Copilot आप use कर रहे हैं as like your AI assistant, and then it provides all these like coding assistant models that is there. So you can pick up one of them. So these things are like have very limited. You have to go for a premium mode for the paid one. For the auto, it is going to find which one is available. It is going to give you very good, very responsive. Additionally, it is going to give you also, I would say, options like, let's say I want to ask it that, let's say, load or something, like let's say load weather data here. So it's going to even write the code. It's not just going to give you the options here, it's going to give you the auto completes. Okay, तो वो सब options आपको यहाँ पे मिल जाएंगे when you are going to write some code or something. Okay, so let's say weather database, it's doing it automatically. Okay, so you don't have to like, and then you have to see whether it's doing correctly or not. For that you have to understand. Okay, so basics pata hona chahiye pura. So then you can start using it very very efficiently. Okay, so I'm going to show you the cursor that I have already installed and see what I have done already. First of all, मैंने क्या किया, ये कोड इंस्टेंस को यहाँ पे लिया. So जो कोड आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो, that looks something like this. Okay, so once I deployed it, I was getting some issues. Okay, so what I said into cursor, I went to this. Okay, so I told him कि भाई I am getting some issues. So I'm getting uncaught error for this super base URL. So that is something which like this bold.new tried to use. It tried to use a service, let's say here. So creating that for the like dummy database and all. So instead, I said ki let's remove the dependencies. So this is the prompt that I give it to it. So it removed the dependencies. It gave me a custom, I would say DB option here. It created this superbase.ts that provides me the option instead of using any dependency API or something. So it generated all the data. So these are the cities and this is the API. So in real scenario in the production, you cannot even use this. You have to use a API or something like that will give you all the cities because वहां पे आपको real data चाहिए. And then when you are going to go for weather, so there has to be an agency or an organization that gives you data for the real weather forecasting. आप forecasting खुद नहीं करोगे, right? Or not your app is going to do. So there are like big organizations that do weather forecasting. वो खाली आपको डेटा प्रोवाइड करेंगे कि वेदर फोरकास्ट क्या है. Then you have to subscribe, you may have to pay that, or maybe some data would be free. So you will get that data and then you will display that. And those are the changes that you have to do on your own by giving the prompts, by writing the code, all that stuff. Okay. So then you see it did a change in a lot of these files, and then I have to make sure like I have to validate and accept or reject or something. So based on कि मुझे क्या लग रहा है, क्या सही है, क्या गलत है, okay, and then it's going to do that. Finally, I gave it one more prompt and I said let's change the color to orange, जो theme color है overall. So if I have to do that, so if you see at a very detailed level, it is just changing the class names, and then instead of saying blue, it is saying orange. So it has just played with the CSS. But then you see the, I would say, the detail, how many files it has gone through, and all the files that it has changed in just few seconds. Okay, कुछ seconds में ही इसने इतना काम कर दिया. If I have to do it manually, so then think of it. I have to go to ap app.ts and then weather.display, and I used to do that, right? So जब भी कुछ change करना होता तो हम एक एक फाइल में जाके उसको change करते थे, या उसको पूरी repository में search करके फिर उसको convert करना पड़ता था. Then we have to make sure it has changed perfectly. It will validate and all. So then finally, if you see the output, this is the application that I generated, the prototype, and this is the output that I'm seeing now. So the theme has changed overall. I can even change the structure. Instead of these boxed models, I can create a list view or something like that. I can do all those things. Okay. So those things are there. And then on top of that, there are some advanced tools or the different tools. But I would say using these tools is more than efficient, sufficient. So जितना भी आपको as a developer, even at the advanced level, so you can go with Cursor. You should go with using the Claude or Chat GPT. You should go for documentation, and you should go for the prototyping using these tools. And then there comes the next level for designing and for, I would say, deployment and like such things, right? So you can even use AI tools for the deployment. So Dockers, those files, deployment, and all those things will be done at the runtime. Okay. So now, what's the real deal? Real deal is to think. Okay, it's to it is to build with the help of AI. So this isn't going to like replace your expertise. जो developer का काम है वो वहीं पे है, but now he has a very very good assistant. ओके, जब हम कोडिंग आई वुड से जूनियर डेवलपर्स थे, हमें ये चीज करने में एक एक दिन दो दो दिन लग जाते थे. देन वो यूज टू गो टू द सीनियर डेव एंड से, क्योंकि सीनियर डेव ये काम नहीं करेगा. ही वाज डीलिंग विद द बिगर पिक्चर, राइट. ही वाज वर्किंग ऑन द रिक्वायरमेंट्स, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, finalizing the requirements, understanding the business and context, and then we used to do the basic thing. Color change करना है, ये component set करना है. I'm saying at the first 1 2 level, 1 2 years level. But now you have an expert, you have a, I would say, a coding assistant that is going to do that for you. Okay, so then what's your role? So your role is already going to exceed. That means you have to start very very immediately, right? You have to start very immediately, and you have to focus on the core fundamentals of the programming, and then you have to make sure that you are guiding your AI tools properly. Okay, because you have to be the leader. So you have an overall team, you can use all these tools. So let's say here I am using 4 to 5 tools. I will go for 10 tools, but who is the leader for that? Who is going to take the responsibility that it is going to do the good job? That has to be you. Okay, so who is the real developer? So that's the responsibility that is onto you. So how do we, what's our daily routine? हम क्या करते हैं अभी? So we plan, we understand the requirements, we code for it with the help of Copilot or whatever lines we can do on our own. We will do that. We will debug that with the help of ChatGPT. We will test that, generate the AI test cases, make sure it is running, it's getting validated properly. All the test cases are passing. We review it. Even the code can be reviewed with the help of AI tool only. Okay, so it gives you that here you made some mistake, or maybe here you can modify it. Here you have some dependency or something like it's going to cause issues in the problem. So then you deploy it. Okay, so you launch the application. So the human creativity plus AI execution. So that is going to increase your productivity altogether. So all the steps they were already there. हर एक step, कोई step अभी skip नहीं हो रहा है. Okay, so it's not that the code automatically generate ho raha hai. Now we can plan and we will go for the review directly, and this is taken care by AI. That's not happening, and that won't happen in next 5 10 years. I can guarantee that. Okay, तो उसके बाद next level problem हो सकती है. Maybe you will start writing the, I would say, the solutions just in pure English, or maybe you will speak to your computers, and the behind the scene it there will be systems that will do this heavy loading. ओके, लेकिन जो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग है, जो सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर्स का रियल जॉब है, दैट इज टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम्स. ओके, एंड देन यू विल यूज दीज टूल्स एंड सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम्स बाय यूजिंग दोस टूल्स ओनली. Okay, so you have to bring, you have like your responsibility is to understand the business, understand the problems that are there, and you have to try to build the solutions along with these AI tools and all. Okay, so real deal is doing problem solving. Okay, like understanding how I can approach a particular problem. So AI brings speed, consistency, and it's tireless attention to the detail. Okay, so it's not going to stop. अब जब तक उसको बोलोगे कि like debug more, test more, code more, it's going to do that. Okay, it's not going to stop. It's not like us कि हमने 6 घंटे 8 घंटे काम किया then we are tired. Okay, so it can do it for overnight. So even I was working for like one of the AI products, like in my previous role as an enterprise architect, and I swear, like with the help of AI tools and everything, my code was running 24/7. Okay, so we were doing like automation test generation, by the way, with the help of AI. So for that, I used to keep my system on 24/7. वो पूरा दिन पूरी रात चलता रहता था. And then my kids used to ask me कि भाई ये क्या चल रहा है? So is it automatically running? So I was telling them, yep, I built something, it runs automatically. बाकी सबका नहीं चलता. So thing is कि it's a very powerful machine. It's tireless. But the thing is you have to be more creative. You have to be more, I would say, knowledgeable and more good at problem solving than your assistant. It has made lot of things easy. आपको कोड याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. You don't have to spend hours in the documentation. It's going to give you the clues. It is going to give you the help. It's going to write code for you, but you have to take the lead. Okay, you have to take the responsibility that how. And then someone who is going to stay dependent कि भाई वही करके देगा फिर उसी को, they won't go anywhere, right? You have to, it has to go hand in hand. Proper expertise, understand the fundamentals, do the problem solving, and then start using the AI tools. Okay? So that's the real journey. That's the, and then there are like other lot of boring stuff that's going to be maybe like completely replaced. Let's say doing the documentation, testing the APIs, and then writing the comments, okay, giving the details about the code ki kyun yahan pe aisa function वगैरह किया. DevOps work, so generating the doc files, deploying things, and log analysis, identifying the issues ki kahan pe kya fata hai. So AI is going to do that automatically. It's going to go through thousands and millions of files, and then it's going to give you the output कि यहाँ पे इस time पे ये issue आया था, and you have to go and you have to validate that. So all these things we are supposed, like we are doing it as a developer, but then with the help of AI, it will completely get automated, right? And these things may get replaced tomorrow, right? In upcoming years, complete CI/CD testing, all these things. Okay, so that's going to be. So AI is your going to give you the boilerplates. It's going to be like handling the logics, and like all the kind of hours that we used to spend on the documentation and everything that might be replaced very quickly by the AI. Even today, a lot of companies have started already adapting to the tools. So what's an action item for you? Like इतना हमने सुना, okay? So इतनी सारी चीजें मैंने आपके साथ share की. I showed you the complete step-by-step process how we can build things with the help of these AI tools very quickly. So you should adapt a 30-day AI adoption. Adopt a challenge कि भाई मुझे ये tools को expert करना है, ठीक है? So start small, pick up one single problem. ऐसा एक prompt बना लो. Think of an idea. कोई भी एक timer application, to do application, whatever. So create a prompt. Ask ChatGPT, I want to do this. Give me a prompt. एक अच्छा सा UI बनना चाहिए. Pick up that prompt, give it to the I would say bolt.new or any other kind of prototyping tool. It's going to give you, generate that code, move that code to your local repository, and then start modifying it. Then you have to level up. You have to go for, instead of VS Code, use GitHub Copilot, and then use Cursor also. They are free. You can do that, and then automate API, generate APIs, document that, test that. So all that can be done step by step using all these tools that I have mentioned. Right? You go for GitHub Copilot, go for ChatGPT, go for Cursor, go for Mentlify. All these things are free for you. Okay. So so I would say start building smart today. So the tools exist, the techniques are proven, so they have been like there for a while. So when these things came up, so companies were resistant कि भाई अगर ये AI कर रहा है फिर आगे क्या होगा वगैरह. But all of that has been sorted. Okay, so the only question is when you are going to start. As a developer, you have to adapt with the AI tools because companies have already adapted. अभी कोई company नहीं है world में who works on tech, who builds the softwares, and they do not use the AI tools and all. Okay, so it's booming everywhere. So the now the real deal is you have to master it. You have to build the skills that you can use it for the best efficiency. Okay, so there are a lot of free resources, lot of tools available that are free to use. I use them every day, and I haven't paid a penny for this. Okay, so you can go for these tools. Lot of big communities are even making it free for everyone. Go and start using it, right? So, and then there are a lot of, I would say, resources for learning these tools also, right? Understanding how GitHub Copilot works and what should be the prompt, how should I ask the real question, right? Because identifying, like making LLMs and these AI tools work means you have to be good at speaking to them. They understand the natural language, but then you have to give it proper step by step process. Okay, आप उसको कुछ भी बोलेगे, it won't give you that expected result, but you have to give it little technical, little flow, little context that it would understand that what I have to do, what should be my next step and all. So even we are doing a lot in terms of even developing and even I would say documenting all this information, okay, and sharing with you people. That's why we are doing these free boot camps and webinars. And then we have a complete, I would say, a training program going on. So where I am personally training the people in web development along with the AI tools, building like everything from scratch, all those problem solving skills, data structure and algorithms, all the strong fundamentals that will help you, okay, use these AI tools efficiently, because you have to have a very strong expertise and knowledge that I told you, right? Then only you can lead these AI tools, okay? So I will stop with a quote. The best time to start was yesterday, and the next time is now. Okay, so better to start as soon as possible. That's what I have to share, and then stay connected. We will learn more together. Thank you so much for joining. Open for the questions.